Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. I'm in my 2006 F-150 and there's a couple of 12-volt cigarette plugs on the dash, and you use them to plug these chargers in for the phone. Cords kind of get in the way. They're right in front of where you have to shift, the gear selector. They're draped all over everything. I want to kind of eliminate that. So I purchased this USB 12-volt charger from Amazon. It's a dual 2.1 amp charger, and I'm going to locate it within the console within the center console, so that the wires can be in there. In fact, you can even just put the phone in there and not have to worry about it. I use 6-foot cords anyway, so it's not really that big a deal. But when you do have a 6-foot cord, you got to manage it somewhat. So this video, I'm going to show you how I install this and where I put it. So stick with me, and maybe you'll be inclined to do the same thing. It's not going to be a hard project, and I will outline what tools I use and take you along with me. So here we go. So to gain access to the components within this center console, all you have to do is grab a hold of this top piece here and pull it up. It comes right off. Inside the center console area, I'm thinking this area here is probably going to be the best area for it. The reason I selected that area is because when you look on the other side, this is directly on the other side here. There's not a whole lot of anything going on in that area, and I'm able to get a drill in there to drill the hole, and I'm also able to deal with the wiring. Now, you want to make sure that whatever wiring that you do install in this area is going to be secured. It's not going to work its way into the workings of the shifter, because that could obviously cause a problem. And this item's fairly deep. It's going to be over 2 inches by the time it's inserted, and you're going to need about 2 inches of clearance behind it to of unobstructed clearance. So really, this is kind of the only place that it could go to be out of the way. I did not want to drill holes in my dash or put it in this area here, because that's what I'm trying to eliminate. And the truck's in really good shape. I don't want to drill any holes in the plastic or anything like that. So the console is the best area that I can think of. Plus, I can leave the phone in there charging. It's not in the way. It's not falling between the seat. And if I decide not to take it, with me wherever I'm going, I can leave it in there and it's still charging. So let's start the installation process, drill a hole, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so what I have is a right angle drill with an 1 1/8" hole saw. And this is kind of a specialized tool. I realize most people don't have something like this. You might be able to get in there with a regular drill if it's small, but the only other way that I know to make this hole would be to possibly use a Dremel and like a rotary bit. That would, it's not going to be the greatest or the neatest hole, but it'll be one that's good enough to drill a hole for the 1 1/8" diameter that you need. So make sure this is going the right way. All right. Okay, so right in here, I don't know if you can see it, but right in here is where I want to drill that hole. I gotta be careful with this wiring, and see if we can make this There's also some plastic supports in here that I want to steer clear of because I want to be able to cinch the nut down that's on the back of that. So let's go from there. Take it slow. See it? Come on the other side here. There we go. So I'll just deburr that, clean it up, and we'll fit the piece in. Alright, got it all cleaned up. I'm going to insert this in this direction, and I think I'm going to keep the flapper on there just so that if it's not in use, there's nothing that's going to slide into that's metal and short it out. What's nice about this little kit is it comes with a fuse, and I'll clip these ring connectors off and use some butt connectors as I splice it into the other cigarette outlet. So 1 1/8 is exact. Okay, it's installed. Now we'll have to tackle the wiring. Come around this side here, you'll see that exactly how it fits in there. Takes a couple of hands to do it, but it's in there, and it's not going to interfere with anything else inside this console. Okay, let's get started with the wiring. Alright, just to show you what I did here, I did cut, which I hate cutting any vehicle wiring, but really this was the only way to do it. And they don't make a plug like a pigtail that would plug from here to the cigarette lighter and then give me another piece of wire to come out of here. So this is what I did, and I think this will work just fine. Alright, so as you can see, I did use some butt connectors, which I'm not a big fan of cutting vehicle wiring, but in this case, this really was my best option, short of running a wire all the way to the battery, and I just didn't feel like doing that for a cell phone charger. So I did use some shrink and some butt connectors, and I spliced it into the cigarette lighter plug. I did cut it in half. I didn't show that because it was way too hard to film and do this at the same time. I'm dealing with a very tight space here. But I ran the 18 gauge wire in some loom and then down through here, and then I'll put it together with some more connectors in this location. Also, it might be a good idea to put some blue tape along the finished surfaces here so that you don't scratch anything up. If you move these pieces without disconnecting the wiring, you know, this may have a tendency to scrape and scratch the nice finished surface. So just put some blue tape along here, and that way nothing gets scratched and looking like it's 10 years old. Okay, well, there's the finished product. As you can see, this is what's coming from the cigarette lighter power. There's the built-in fuse that came with the kit, and then that's the back side of the USB adapter. Now, I'm thinking I could have probably just used a cigarette lighter and then installed, and just placed one of these in there permanently, because it has a blue light that comes on. It probably doesn't pull a whole lot of power, but that's just one more thing that the battery would draw. So maybe I'll change that out. I'll have to give it a couple of days to see if that runs my battery down anything significant. But for the most part, it's pretty much done, and I think it turned out okay.